Hey everybody, how we doing today? Beautiful day here in the Florida Keys. Got full sun, hot, humid, a standard Florida Keys day. So I figured it'd be a perfect time to show you what I wear. All right, let's start from the top, work our way down, starting with hats. Baseball hats. Use them for baseball, not fishing. Okay, the problem with them is that they're unidirectional. They're functional when you're just looking in one direction only, but when you start turning and veering and that sun hits you in a different direction, it offers no protection and it creates glare. Okay, so when you're sight fishing, whether on the flats, backcountry, even offshore, looking for birds and bait and stuff, okay, you need to have very good visibility. Baseball hats just don't do it. So let me show you what's better. So what's much better? Bam! The All About the Bait fishing hat. Okay, and that's what it's for, is fishing. It's not good on looking hot and cool and Instagram famous, but it works really well. It's actually the only article of clothing that I'm going to go over that will actually help you catch fish. And it is actually one of the few entire items that if I forget it, I'll actually turn around, go back to the launch, go to my car and grab it. It's that important. All right, let's go over the fishing hat here. First off, it's a 360 brim, okay? So that gives me total coverage regardless of what direction I'm looking at. And that is huge for sight fishing because you're always scanning regardless of where that sun's coming through. Okay, it's knocking off that glare and then it's allowing you to see. 2, it's got this flap on the back. Very important for the sun protection and the bug protection. I could tell right off the bat something's wrong when I was just walking down from my car with that baseball hat on, because I could feel the my ears and the back of my neck starting to burn already, because I always wear this hat so they hardly see the sun and I could just feel it instantaneously, them getting cooked. Third, okay, is that this brim here is moldable, and what that's good for is I'm looking straight, sun's coming at an angle. Because of the material here, it's got a thin piece of cardboard material that allows me to bend it in, and it hits that one spot that sun was hitting me and keeps that glare off. So regardless of what position I want it, I could just mold it anyway. So very helpful there. Next is that it is super light. Okay, you can just scrunch it up, boom, and it just pops right back up. Very light. Problem with wearing anything heavier when you're out fishing, even if you think it's light just in the beginning, after 4, 5, 6 hours plus hours with something on your head, any type of weight, it just starts giving you a headache. Next, it's also, the material is soft, so you could just dunk it, boom, keeps you cool. That's huge out here in that heat, humidity as well. So very multifunctional. The other part that's really good before I dunked it is that because I do a lot of videos, my lenses get wet all the time. This back flap, usually if I don't dunk it, stays dry and I could just wipe that lens. The rest of me is already all soaking wet with salt water, so that really helps with that. Very important, the fishing hat. Next, we've got sunglasses. Hugely important, okay? It is safety, okay, because this bright light coming off of that sun down here, plus you get that reflection off the water there, so it could be bad for your eyes in general. So you do want sunglasses in particular. For fishing, you definitely want polarized lenses. That'll give you the ability to cut the glare to allow you to see in the water and get better visibility. 100% necessary if you're doing any sight fishing. In regards to what kind, these are $150 Costa Del Mars I shelled out for. They work great, super happy with them, but I used them so much, the lenses got so scratched up and the surface got so defaced there that it was actually harder to see with them on than without them on. So eventually, instead of buying another set or buying another set of Costa Del Mar actual lenses that are just as much as the actual glasses themselves, I found an online store and just had the custom lenses they make for these frames. Had those, shipped them in, tried them out, and they work great. Okay, they've actually lasting longer than my original Costa Del Mars. They're supposed to be scratch resistant, and in general they have been. They give me the same great visibility, so super happy with those. But then even farther, I have a pair of $7 sunglasses. I actually bought like 5 of them because I'm so happy with them, that I use for my daily drivers, out on the motorcycle, out walking and going to the grocery store. Just whenever I'm out in the sun, I've got those $7 glasses, and they work great. And actually, I have no qualms if I forget these because I'm still wearing my other sunglasses, to not even worry about it, because I don't see any performance difference in them. So just as long as they're polarized, they fit your face, so they're comfortable, because you're going to be hot and sweaty, and even that extra weight on your face constantly can be an irritant after a long day. So just make sure they're comfortable and you're good to go. Next, we've got the fishing face masks. So let me show you how I use them. So first off, I always have one around my neck, whether I'm fishing or not. If I'm leaving my house and I've got a shirt on, I'll have my face mask on around my neck, and I'll have my hat, and I'll have my sunglasses. That's just, if I leave my front door, that's what's on me. Now, just to start, it just neck covering. It's there, it protects that sun back, front, especially when I'm just going casually with my baseball hat. It gives that protection there, but it allows me to have it in case I need it. Next, I use it as an actual face mask. That gives me full facial covering from the sun. And I'll even use this when I'm riding my motorcycle, just for that added protection there. Because even if you're not fishing, it's the same sun you're dealing with. Also, I use this a lot every time I'm at the boat launch at nighttime when I'm loading up. Mosquitoes and no-see-ums will just come buzzing. So that bug protection is massive. I'm close to these mangroves. Those no-see-ums will start smelling me during the sunlight times. The mosquitoes are not so bad, but the no-see-ums will just swarm you, and they'll go after any bit of skin that's showing there. So this is how I protect from that. And specifically for no-see-ums, this is my double Masquerade. I put the lower on there. They will go after your underbrow. They'll eat your eyebrows right next to your eyes. So you have to be totally covered. Okay, so I put a second one on, just like a normal bandana, bring it down to my eyes there, throw my hat on, throw my glasses on, and that's my no-see-um protection. Massively important during the summertime. No wind conditions like this, by the mangroves. This is the only way that you can fish. The other way I use it is as a rash guard, especially when I'm vertical jigging and I've got my conventional reel, and then I'm doing a lot of cranking, those heavy depths there. My reel rubs against my wrist right here. For just a little while, it's not a problem, but if I'm doing a lot of vertical jigging, it just rubs in the same spot over and over again. I always carry this extra bandana, put it right there, and it creates a protection for it. So basically, anytime you have any issues anywhere, it's a great place to have one of these face masks. Also, if you have one for cuts or you get a deep wound, very convenient to have. So very good piece of equipment. And of course, if you got that long hair and you're riding around in the boat or the convertible, or with the wind blowing your hair, it could be as annoying as heck. I used to be an ex-hippie hair, and that drove me crazy. But these two bandanas are excellent. They're just quick and easy. Put them on, run them over your head, and then no hair problems. Next up, we've got the fishing gloves. Bam! Okay, another one great for sun protection as well as bug protection. And the best thing about it, once you got them on, you don't have to think about it, and then they just do their job instantly. They're super light. They just use that same fabric like fishing shirts, so they're UPF like 40, 50. Okay, so definitely sun protection. Super thin, so you can hardly tell they're there. They're wicking, so they'll pull that sweat off, keep it cool. A little bit of grip protection through the palms here for grabbing that rod, paddling, and so forth. They're fingerless, which makes it convenient, so you can still tie knots, fiddle with bait, your camera, and so forth without having any worries about that. And yeah, just super light, nice and convenient there. They're not for grabbing toothy fish and going to give you protection there. They're just a light coating just to protect from the sun. I do have fillet gloves for protection from knives, but even those aren't good for teethy and fins protection. But sun and bugs, these are great to have. Now let's talk about shirts. You definitely want shirts with fabric that is made for the sun. You'll see UPF protection 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, okay? You would want to look for something that's 30 plus UPF and higher, okay? That'll give you better, longer protection from the sun. What you want to stay away from is like the cotton materials. They don't have a very tight weave, so that allows the sun in and it'll still allow you to burn. Okay, I think they're rated in the 5 to 10 UPF factor there. Okay, these shirts are, my shirts are rated from 30 to 50, so any of the fishing shirts, you don't have to worry about it. You also can think about is the quick drying effects. All right, these polyesters are much better at the wicking, pulling that sweat away from your body, getting it to the outside where it can dissipate. Okay, and evaporate and keep you cooler by allowing that air to flow through there. So that's another principle to think about. For me, actually, the sun protection is the primary, and then the cooling factor, I don't mind it if it absorbs water. Okay, if it holds the water, I'm out and about, I'm on the ocean, it's hot out here, it's humid out here, so water on me is good. I'll jump in just to cool off, so I'm not concerned about that part. So it just depends on what you like. Now, there's a couple of different types of shirts. This is just a standard long sleeve shirt. No short sleeve t-shirts, that doesn't help. Stick with long sleeve. Standard neck on it. I fish in these a lot because I have the All About the Bait store, and I've got my target species in mind a lot. So I like to kind of use the shirts to keep me focused on what my priorities for that day. So if I'm out for tarpon, I want to wear a tarpon shirt, and that way I match when I make these videos and kind of show that I'm just not like randomly going out and hoping for the best. But that's the standard long sleeve fishing shirt. The other type of shirt is the hooded shirt. Still the same basic long sleeve fishing shirt. My hooded shirts are UPF 50 plus, so extra protection there. Generally, when I wear the hooded, it's for whatever reason I want to go out with a baseball hat, maybe to look cooler, run the hood over it, and then I get that back of the neck protection, back of the head. Also, I get the ear protection from the bugs and the sun from the side, and it's very comfortable there, so I get that same protection. Some guys wear it over the top, or you can kind of also just wear it there and use your hat if it's really windy to keep that hood in place there. So that just gives that added protection. Also, if you're going to be doing the Instagram, baseball hat with the hood looks cooler than the old floppy fishing hat, but it's all up to you. I'm more into catching fish, so I go with the floppy, but the hooded will go with you regardless. If you look out there, we got some rain coming, and then that'll bring up our next line of defense. There is my fishing rain jacket. Okay, this is not just a standard cheapy nylon that are not waterproof at all. This actually has the waterproof layer on the inside, that special material. It's breathable, but it is 100% waterproof. So I really like this jacket, just my go-to to take around. I don't need to wear it, but to have it is nice when one of these summer showers comes through. Also, when it starts cooling down a bit, it's nice to have this because it's a good windbreaker. Or if I'm going out to the reef and it's really choppy and I'm going to get really doused with water, it's just good to have this so it kind of blocks off that constant water torture splash. I also use it a lot when I come back into the launch. I'll have it in my car, back down, start loading up my kayak, and that's when the mosquitoes just swarm you, and they'll drive you crazy, and they'll just stick to wherever, trying to find a spot. So I'll throw this jacket on, and I know that it's not permeable by the mosquitoes, and I don't have to worry about it. It also has a hood for the rain. Keeps you out of there when I'm just waiting out the rain, where you're not getting that Chinese water torture. Also the mosquitoes as well, but I love this jacket, so I always have it with me. And then for the hardcore times, I've got the old Grundens. This is the fish cleaning jackets they wear at those processing plants. So it's definitely heavy duty, but primarily I'll use this the 2 times a year when we might get a cold front down during the winter time, but yet I want to make a run out to the reef. And it's not super cold, but it's cold enough that you do risk hypothermia, especially if you're just getting splashed on, and then I'm driving and creating my own breeze, and it's taking a long time to get out or in. I'll throw this on, and then this is 100% waterproof. It's almost like a rubber material, but yeah, this is like non-water permeable at all. It's not breathable, so you got to watch yourself so you don't sweat as much in the wetness, but that just gets me totally dry when I'm making those run. Also, if I ever have to be out in a tsunami type hurricane weather, I've got this guy here. It's just made for that hard weather times there, so just in case, a couple times a year, but it's definitely worth it. All right, let's talk about the bottom half. Now, I'm a big proponent of just the good old plain basic gym sweats. Bam, no shorts, okay? Sun will kill you, especially if you're not used to it, especially on the kayak where you're sitting down, you got your legs extended out, and that just sun will just cook your thighs and then to the top of your calves, top of your feet, because that's the thing that's going to be exposed the entire day. And even if you wear sunscreen on it, in the water, it'll sweat off, it'll just rinse off, and then you'll just end up with a burn mark. But full covering, very important. I like these standard gym sweats because they're thick. They hold water, keeps me cool in the summertime especially. Still have that sun protection, but also it protects me from the mosquitoes and the no-see-ums, but it's thick so they can't bite through the material. So I really like that part of it. Yeah, nice and cheap. Also, if you're kayaking, because you're constantly in a sitting position, and then if you've got the pedals like a Hobie, you're running your legs back and forth, so it's like you're constantly in a squat position, up and out of a squat position. I stand a lot, so I'm always up and down, so just having that just very flexible fabric is a huge benefit. Definitely couldn't do it if you're in like jeans or corduroy or something else that's not as flexy as these swim pants are. All right, now getting to the bottom here, we're still working with the good old sweatpants. I love to have the ones that have the elastic collar on the base there. The reason being it matches up well with the boots that I wear. I wear these kind of scuba / wading style boots. They've got standard tread there, so just like a normal tennis shoe. So comfortable, thick soles, protect you from anything sharp on the bottom. Neoprene, these are 3mm, so they're not overly hot. The other most important part is that they're the high style, okay? So the main reason for that is that our bottoms are made of kind of a sand, rock, shells, everything is sharp, okay? So if you have any type of open sole, open style water shoe, these sharp rocks and shells will get in there. They'll pinch between the skin and the shoe, and it makes it miserable. By having this high top, that prevents that rocks and stuff when I'm wading getting into them, and then working in conjunction with the elastic bottoms on the sweatpants, okay, I don't get any dirt, rocks, shells in there at all, so I'm totally comfortable all day and don't have to worry about removing them. Also, if my feet are getting hot, I just dunk them in there, and these are basically waterproof, so the water gets stuck in there and it creates insulation and it keeps my feet cool. So love these things. And finally, we've got the good old sunscreen. Now, as you can see, I really don't have any areas that I need sunscreen, but the one area that I do put it on every time is my face. So basically, when I lock up my car, I'll throw on a spoonful, grease up, okay, and that's why when you watch my introductory parts of my videos, I'm always looking kind of greasy. That's basically why. Normally, I mean, if I was not doing the videos, I would be 100% mask covered the whole time, and I wouldn't even be using this stuff. But because I'm doing the videos and I want that little bit of voice clarity, I keep the mask down most of the time so people can hear what I'm saying better. But that's the key part. The problem with these are twofold. One, it's a chemical that you really don't want to have on you. I don't think there's any doctor that would say, yeah, put the chemical on versus just covering up. Two, the other big reason is you could put this stuff on, but you don't think about the protection you lose when you're constantly sweating in our humidity. You're getting wet from the water and so forth, you're swimming, and then it basically washes off, and you're not thinking about putting it on every half hour to an hour, and so you're not getting that protection. So I use a 50 plus. I try to get like a sports edition, which is kind of a little bit more water resistance because I'm constantly getting doused. But in general, I 95% am covered up, so really just a few small areas, then I'll use this stuff here. But do what you got to do. All right, there you go. That's basically what I wear from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. I am a 100% fisherman in the Florida Keys. That's my reason for being down here, and that's my reason for being out in the water. I'm not into sunbathing. I'm not into just casual paddling, casual boating. I'm out here to chase fish and have fun in that regards. So sun protection is huge because I'm out here a lot. Also, the bug protection is huge because without it, you would never be able to fish in a lot of these spots where I go because the bugs would just kind of blow you away and you'd never be able to kind of focus on the fishing. But if you're a tourist coming down, it's just very important. You come down and you're I just want to grab as much sun as possible right away, so you go out in just shorts or a bikini and you sit out in the sun or go out in the boat, or even if you go fishing for a day, and you're just going to get toasted. And what happens to that is your next 2 or 3 days, you're going to be miserable, you're going to be bitching, and it's just horrible feeling to be sunburnt and you can't do anything. You're not going to enjoy it, and it's just bad. Okay, then you go home and then you start peeling, you're red, you just look nasty, and it's not as great as saying, oh, look at my tan, because you're not tan. You're basically burnt to a crisp and you're scaly. It just doesn't look very good, and it's bad for your Instagram. So just don't do that. The other more important thing to me is that you make everybody else miserable, okay? And you might ruin the trip for everybody else when you do that kind of stuff, because if you can't go and somebody else has to stay with you, or you can't go because you're not wanting to go, it just kind of puts a damper on anything. So think about the others. But anyways, that's what I wear. So thanks for watching. I've got my fishing hat on, so I'm gonna go look and see if I can find some pilchards and maybe do some fishing before that storm hits me. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye.